Welcome to this edition of What is Truth. I'm your host, Dave Reaver. I've been in ministry for over 50 years, and the things you're going to hear in this program will show you that 50 years of sowing provides for a lifetime of reaping. And reaping is a great word because REAP, Reaver Educational Assistance Programs International, is the vehicle by which we bring hope to restricted nations, the gospel of Jesus Christ through education. Jesus said, "Go into all the world and make disciples." Jesus made disciples. The disciples made disciples. So we are disciple makers of disciple makers. I don't want to confuse you. Our school in Vietnam, with 120,000 students in our worldwide ministry in 36 countries and many languages, is literally changing the world. We are taking the indigenous people and training them to train their own. The people that you will meet on this program will share with you things that will astound you. You'll see the means by which we are accepted by both the government and the general population. My guests will include Dr. Dan Dang, Al Reaver, and Captain Retired John Arroyo. Truly, in all the years we've been doing programs for television, I honestly believe this may be one of the most important 20 minutes of your life that you will spend listening and watching the miracles that are taking place in the most unlikely places for miracles to happen. When nations try to restrain and remove the gospel of hope in Christ, when the church suffers persecution, what's being called the underground church always grows and flourishes. The gospel of Jesus Christ will be preached in every nation if it's not already been done. It's the precursor to the return of Jesus Christ. Be encouraged as you watch and listen to this amazing interview with amazing men of God. I'll be right back. If you've been watching these series that we've been doing on REAP International, Reaver Educational Assistance Programs International, you've been intrigued, I'm certain, because we go where, as has been said, no man has gone before. And sitting next to me is Captain Kirk. He is the guy that goes all over the world and represents this ministry in developing and instigating both our school of ministry. We have over 120,000 students worldwide, 36 countries, many languages, I don't know how many now, and we're reaching the world with a message of discipleship. But we do more than just try to preach to them. We try to reach them where we can't preach to them. And we have a unique way of doing that. It all comes back to the most fundamental thing there is on the face of the earth for life, and it's called water. Dan, Dr. Dang, thank you for being here. I want you to open this thing up and talk to us a minute. Then we're going to go to our new kid on the block, Captain of the Green Beret, John Arroyo, now one of our youngest team members on REAP, and my esteemed brother Al.
One of the oldest. Oh, I'm sorry.
But the wisest, and we call him Ho Chi Minh because of his little beard. We're going to have a great program for you today. Dan, talk to us about what's going on with water.
When you send Al Reaver and myself to many different countries to do the discipleship program, and we got opportunity out to see and saw a lot of different things, good, bad, ugly, name it. We see them all. But the most horrible, Dave, when I saw the children drinking the dirty water. That's the picture.
Wow.
It melted my heart. When we've been in Congo and we see little pond and children, you come over with the bottle of water and try to dip that dirty water. And my eyeball turned that big when I saw the go ahead and drinking that. So we came back and we tried to look in the solution. And I got your approval, and we found this one. This is the water filter. It can last 20 years.
20 years.
20 years, if you know how to do that. So you have to turn from the dirty water to the crystal clear water. And Al and I, we discussion about this one, so we're using this one for training, the discipleship. Our life before is dirty,
Yeah.
sinful, and then when you were true to the filter, that the words of God, and then the crystal clear. I let Al to share about the water, what we do for the demonstration.
I could tell a lot of stories, I'm telling you, but I remember when we were in the Congo, the dirty water was red. You know, it's just
got
red.
that red clay in it.
And so I told him, oh, everywhere we went, he filtered the water and drank it, you know, and I was like, you know, horrified because I'm thinking, you know, I said, surely it can't get that much out of that water. And so it hadn't been too bad, you know, the source of the water wasn't all that bad, but this one was red, dirty, and I said,
You can eat the water, huh?
yeah. I said, Dan, this isn't going to work. You're not going to get all that red out of there. That filter won't do it. He ran it through that filter, absolutely crystal clear, drank the glass down. The pastors around wouldn't even drink. You know, they were, their kids out, you know, out here drinking that stuff, and they wouldn't even drink it after it was filtered because they knew it was the same water. But when he drank it, then they were willing to do it. You know,
They waited a minute to see if he dropped dead, and he didn't, so they drank it.
yeah, and that wasn't even the worst one. You know, we're on not the Vamcote, we're on the Mekong River in Cambodia. The houseboats everywhere, hundreds, thousands of them.
Outhouses and everything.
Everything, and it all goes into the river. And I was almost sick to my stomach at the thought, Dan surely is not going to filter that water and drink it. I mean, we were doing boat-to-boat ministry. You know, I've done a lot of door-to-door ministry in the U.S.
Boat-to-boat.
and even in Honduras, you know, go and clap your hand outside the grass huts and stuff. But this was totally different, you know, long boat with a motor on a long pole, and you come up and you bump up on the boat, and the people are in their living room, which has only one wall, the back wall. The rest of it is open to the elements and the water. And then you ask to come aboard. Always gracious people. I just loved the spirit, the attitude. And we would go on and you know, but we were told don't drink the hot tea if they offer it to you because it's made out of the river water. And so, you know, we've graciously declined the tea. But then we go into the church, which is also a boat, and Dan brings out the filter, shares the whole story, and he'll share it. You know, God has really given Dan a mission, a vision of how this relates to our whole ministry. That they brought in the water from out of the river, he filtered it, and he drank it, and it was a total shock to everybody. And you know, the value of what he could communicate then about the washing of water by the Word and how that the Word filters.
It is amazing, you know, when the miracle, they look like it's miracle. They look and say, oh, that miracle, you know, but we can easily to share the gospel. We try to help them, training them. And Al River, this only cost like $22. The package come over like this one, we can take from U.S. to any country. We took this one to Cambodia, to Vietnam, to Congo, Nigeria, Kenya, and name it. And this packet right here helped the whole family.
Yeah.
Up to 20 years. And the beauty about this one is our student will come over and help them to clean up the filter.
All right, now that's what I want to get to. Yeah. It's 20-year filter, but it has to be maintained, has to be clean, has to be checked out. That's the maintenance that many people in their walk with Christ, well, I got saved, and then from that point on, they never wash, they never clean the filter.
Yeah.
They don't keep maintaining it, and before you know it, it won't work, I guess, if it's not maintained properly.
That's it. You know,
20 years, that's a lifetime for some of these countries.
Yeah, it's a lot, and it also help our student.
Yeah, they got
what to do, share the gospel. Can you come to the house?
It's show and tell.
You clean up, you know, what can you do? You have to share the gospel. You have to talk, make friends. Come and see, you know, and that the token what we do, and this is very successful packet and special tool, and we brought to Vietnam with the veteran.
Yeah,
veteran donated.
Let me tell them about that. If you're a Vietnam veteran, you'll take special interest in this. for decades. I've been, since 1994, I've been taking Vietnam veterans back to Vietnam with me. We've taken hundreds of them that have never dreamed they'd go back to the country of their near demise. And every one of them come back saying, it changed my life forever. Because I had closure, I was able to see that our sacrifice was not in vain. We didn't get everything we wanted, but we got something. And now that little something has turned into a big something. And we have favor with the government and everything we do. But it's not just Vietnam veterans. Sitting at the table is a global war on terror veteran, a very terribly wounded global war on terror veteran. He's a Sergeant General, captain of the Green Beret. This is one of my dearest friends and our newest comer on the block. Been over, it's over a year now. Come October, it'll be
2 years.
2 years in October. And you went to Vietnam. Tell me about what you saw.
Well, my understanding when I walked through the door, it was a rite of passage, right? So when I walked in the door, the first thing they said was, "You're going to Vietnam." I stepped in the 3rd Special Forces Group and they said, "You're going to Afghanistan." So that was the rite of passage here. I went into Vietnam with a journey back. I believe that's what you call it, right?
Journey back is the name of the program
That's the
for
name of the
Vietnam
program.
vets to go back again.
I journeyed with my Vietnam partners, my battle buddies.
Yeah.
And my mind was just blown. I never thought that I would, one, ever go back into a war zone when I left Afghanistan and Iraq, but here I was back in Vietnam loving people. Sharing the compassion that you once went back in and brought Dan out of. And it was amazing. My eyes were open. And then to see the fruit of what you guys have produced over the years, one, it was the discipleship, and then so many other programs that we probably don't have time to talk about. But one that I do want to talk about, just briefly, I believe we just started a K through 12 school. We started a school where we're teaching English to Vietnamese children. Because what did you tell us, Dave? You said, if you touch the children, you change the generation.
Change the whole nation generationally. Well, that's very true. And not only is it a K through 12, it's an approved Vietnamese government approval school. And we have just finished our first year.
The first
Tell
year,
me about that.
This is amazing. It is only like 1 year, and our children can speak English unbelievable well. They send us the video. You're going to watch the video right now.
I believe that Jesus Christ is Lord.
The song said, "I believe." And in English, they send it in English, and this is unbelievable. I learned the mistake when I learned in English, so that's why I want it correctly, for this time. And we start with pre-K to 4, and then we send out veteran.
Vietnam veterans
veteran.
open that school.
Back to Vietnam and stay there for 3 months, so they become the pioneer. And it is amazing, we try to watch in and see what's going on. And then after that, December, and then we had Vietnamese New Year kicking in, and then COVID-19 kicking in for the whole, country.
world,
They shut down everything. But our school only shut down only 1 week.
We were shut down a week because we went immediately online. Dan Schreier, who's one of the greatest educators I've ever known in my lifetime. He's one of the most amazing men I've ever known. Out of Ohio, he was the superintendent over some 43,000 students, I think. Huge schools, big time. And I was able to talk him into becoming ours. He's ours. We love this guy. And he opened up all the world to us in online curriculum in math, in science, in English. And the teachers over there cannot speak English with an accent of any Asian influence. It has to be pure English because the government wants us to raise up ambassadors, politicians that go around the world that speak pure English. Dan, I'm sorry, you won't qualify. You still got your
I
accent.
sent my application, but they turned me down.
But honestly, what's happening in Vietnam is so out of the book. And for the first time, this school idea of K through 12 is now self-supporting. We do not have to raise funds to make that happen. It's starting to generate on its own.
Only 1 year, and then we can kick it in and we can do that. And it not only that, now Singapore, India, Philippines, and a lot more countries
Yep.
would like us to come over and do this.
And we're going to do it. We're going to open 5 more in Vietnam, 5 in northern India, these places that are calling us to bring our school. We have the best curriculum. We teach them astrophysics, aerodynamic engineering, everything that this future holds for these kids. They're getting the best education possible through our school. And it's being done in the place of my near demise. It's like you going back to Iraq or going into Afghanistan or some country where you faced the Taliban and you faced Al-Qaeda and ISIS and starting a school. Don't take me lightly when I tell you, you're probably going to do just that one day. In the place of your combat experience, you were wounded at Fort Hood by a mass murderer who tried to kill all of you. But you gave of yourself kicking doors and hooding the bad guys. And you'll go back one day, because when we put our foot down, we possess the land. PTL, praise the Lord, we possess the land. And I'm telling you, you were there, I was there. One of these shows, we're going to go back and talk about how you anointed all the equipment and everybody came back alive in your group. I don't want to divert from our purpose here. What else is happening? We got water going, we got schools going. We have 120,000 students online and training in our theological school. What else?
Well, you want to?
Yeah, one thing that I want to share is one thing that you've taught us is this stealth evangelism, right? So we have to teach English. That's our goal. But I just want to mention how we brought them to the King James culture.
It is amazing.
It's
It
not a
is
Christian
amazing.
school.
That's right.
It is amazing. This is supposed to be another, so we have to talk about detail about this one here, but this is God thing. Right now, we need teacher.
We need teachers. Are you listening? God's talking to somebody watching right now.
So if God calling you to come to any country, we will be in Africa, we'll be in
Asia.
India or any country. If you have the heart for it, we need teacher. You have to have the heart to teaching about King James culture. We're talking about that. We cannot talk the whole lot detail about that. But if you contact us, we need teacher right now.
Now, we'll tell you the rest of the story, Paul Harvey, because the rest of the story is part of the stealth evangelism. Right. Here's the facts. We are not a threat to any government. We are no threat to any government, any political point of view. We're not a threat because we're not out to challenge politics. We're out to challenge the devil himself who thinks he controls this planet. God gave him rule over this planet, but he gave us rule over the rule of this planet. He gave us authority over death, hell, and the grave. He gave us authority over Satan. He gave us, through the blood of Jesus Christ, access to more power that scares the living out of the devil. And I'm telling you, we are on the right track. I am a preacher, in case you wondered. And I cannot thank you guys enough. And I'm not through yet. I want us to talk about what do we see in the future. This hasn't been discussed. We didn't preliminary this program with this question. What do you see in the future for what we are sowing, what we'll reap, and what we'll do with what we reap? We've sown, we're reaping. What will we do with what we have?
Well, if we got a lot different way, the vision, our God is big God. So when we look at that, anything for the future is really big. What we're talking about is like K to 12, when our students finish their high school, they receive the high school diploma right here in U.S.
It's accredited.
Yes, and they can come. We're talking about not only the children from different countries can come to the U.S., but also we're working to get our children from U.S. can go to
An exchange student.
exchange
program.
student. So you're talking about the relationship.
Are you watching? Are you listening?
You're talking about how
That's
we can
awesome.
bring hope to the world. And that's
Well,
what the message.
We are Reaver Educational Assistance Programs. That means we're brokers in education. right here in our very headquarters in Fort Worth, Texas. At this studio we're at, right above us, is the Texas University of Theology. And our ministers that don't have any formal education, they have a huge heart for God, can come and go through the Texas University of Theology right here in Fort Worth and get their degree, the PhD.
And that's what we focus. We focus, Al River and John and myself and Dale Wallach, we focus for those pastors who already pastor with hundreds of members of the church. Like in Vietnam, we have pastors that we say, well, how big for your church? And they say, oh, we got small church. And we say, how big? 700 members. Don't have any training whatsoever. So this is the school all about, to help the pastor to have the words of God, to teaching the truth.
You know what's happened? A lot of these pastors have been vaccinated. That means they got a little bit of something that keeps them from catching the whole thing. If they don't get the whole thing, if they don't get the whole gospel, they don't get that pure, undefiled, unmitigated truth of what is truth, what this program's all about, they're dangerous. And I'm going to tell you, we need disciples to disciple disciplers. It is a circle that's not vicious, it's victorious. And I'm saying you and I can partner together with this group and change the world. We're already doing it. It's just we're going to continue to do it. Like I said, I get tired of hearing people say what they're going to do. We're continuing to do what we're already doing and enhancing it. Be part of this great ministry. If you want more information, information's on the bottom of the screen right now. You can contact us. Go to our website. Learn what REAP International is all about. Learn what we do. See that we're more than a public school speaker and a traveling speaker for the military. John and I do that for the military. These guys do it for the missions. We're a great ministry, and I think you'll want to know more. I'll be back in a little bit with what we call the countdown. The reason the countdown is so popular, it's not even part of our general discussion. It's taking a hot topic and talking about it from a biblical point of view. I'll be back with that countdown in about 60 seconds. Don't you go away. So what do you believe? I'll tell you what I believe. I believe that's one of the most inspirational and beautiful things I've ever seen on a video in my life. That, my friend, is the product of 1 year in our K through 12 school where kids could not speak English, had to learn to speak English, how to sing in 3-part harmony, how to play instruments, put all that together and show you that our school in Vietnam is above and beyond. It's exceptional. Started by our Vietnam veterans who went over and laid the groundwork, sowed the seed, and today that is just a tiny little picture of the success of our school in Vietnam. When you support this ministry, you're not just supporting people to run cameras, lights, etc. We cover that. You're supporting things downrange, we say in the military. You're supporting things out in the field where we go, where no man has gone before, done what no one's done before. I do not know of a ministry in the world that's having the success in Vietnam that we are through Global REAP educational programs. We are beyond successful. I hope you understand it's not bragging on us, it's bragging on God. God gave me a team of people to work with that I can trust in any situation. People who've been with me 20 years, 30 years, 35 years that are still plugging away as we reach around the world with the hope that we find in Christ. I'll put it this way, and I've said it numbers of times. Devil had me down in Vietnam, took a stick and beat me severely, threw the stick down and walked off laughing. He made his big mistake there. I picked up the stick he hit me with, and I said, devil, come back here. This war's not over. And the very thing he beat me with, the injury, the suicidal attempt following, all the pain, all the hurt, he should have killed me when he had the chance. I take that same stick and I'm beating him all over the face of the earth, primarily starting in Vietnam, where it all began for me years ago on the bank of a river on the border with Cambodia, edged up to the very gates of pearl. That day to this day, God reigns. I'll be back with that, what I promised on the countdown.
Dave Reaver wants you to have a copy of his book, Scarred. Scarred is an energetic account of Dave Reaver's life, told only as he can tell it.
So I took my physical. It was the only exam I passed that whole semester. I got an O+ on the blood test.
He tells an explosive story of triumph, reflecting on his youth, his injury in Vietnam, and his continuing recovery. You'll feel like you're there with Dave as his faith in God carries him through. Your gift of $15 or more will go directly to help Dave Reaver and his associates take the gospel of Jesus Christ to young people, members of our armed forces, and many others around the world. Call, click, or write today and request your copy of Scarred. And when you do, you'll help Dave Reaver and his associates continue to share the life-changing gospel with thousands.
And now for the countdown. In honor of our military wives. The author is unknown. When the Lord was creating a military wife, he ran into his 6th day of overtime. An angel appeared and said, "You're having a lot of trouble with this one. What's wrong with the standard model?" The Lord replied, "Have you seen the specs on this order? It has to be completely independent, but must always be sponsored to get on a military installation. It must have the qualities of both mother and father during deployments, be a perfect host to 4 to 40, handle emergencies without an instruction manual, cope with the flu, and move all around the world. Its kiss must cure everything from a child's bruised knee to a husband's weary day. She must have the patience of a saint when waiting for her mate to come home, and her heart must swell with pride and sustain the ache of numerous separations while remaining true. Beat soundly when even it feels too tired to do so. Be large enough to say I understand when it doesn't. Say I love you regardless. Already it can heal itself when sick. You cannot imagine what this being can do or endure, said the Lord. Can it think? Asked the angel. It converts 1400 to 2 p.m., replied the Lord. Finally, the angel bent over and ran her finger across the cheek. There's a leak, she said. It's not a leak, said the Lord. It's a tear. Well, what's it for? Asked the angel. It's for joy, sadness, loneliness, pride. You're a genius, said the angel. Looking at her somberly, the Lord replied, I didn't put that there. She did. I'm Dave Reaver. I'll see you on the next edition of What is True.